My name is Bruce Manning, and I am a judge in Hennepin County. I work exclusively in juvenile court and exclusively on ICWA cases. This is the courthouse where I work. It doesn't have big columns and high ceilings and expensive marble and fancy woodwork, but it does convey the fundamental truth of courthouses. It impresses on the viewer the power held within. My courthouse reflects the time it was designed in the 1990s, when the fear of an alleged fact of teen super predators dominated the discourse, because that discourse served the interest of the powerful. This building reflects that fear. For colonized people, courthouses have always been oppressive buildings. My courthouse's ancestors are the state houses where treaties were planned in bad faith and then cavalierly broken, where annexation orders were given, where disestablishment was declared, and where the government approved the largest mass execution in American history. When actual extermination or deracination or displacement of native peoples were, if they went by those names, no longer widely acceptable, new tools were developed to try to eliminate native cultures and families. My courthouse was the tool shed that stored the equipment that determined what was an acceptable way of life, who was the reportedly unfit mother, who was the allegedly abandoned child. To walk into my courthouse with your eyes opened, by learning or by trauma, is to see how painful the history it carries is. In 1978, with the passing of the Indian Child Welfare Act, we made a commitment to listening to Native people, to doing better by Native families. Making that commitment real is a constant, ongoing effort. I want my courtroom to show the families who come here that there is a sincere commitment to their stories, to shedding a colonizer's mindset, and to seeing and supporting their dignity. With the help of Native women Valerie Berard, Kathy Talbert, and Terry Yellowhammer, the 4th Judicial District redecorated a new courtroom to honor that commitment and to remind the professionals who sit here every day of how hard we must all work to overcome history. The arrangement of tables and bench is as close to a circle as I can muster until I'm allowed to buy new tables. The bench, at one step, is as low as I was told I was allowed to make it. And when you look to the bench, you see gifts of flags from many sovereign nations within or bordering Minnesota. In several ceremonies with drum and honor guard, we have received these flags: the White Earth Nation, the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe, Leech Lake Band of Ojibwe, the Red Lake Nation, the Lower Sioux Dakota Community, the Upper Sioux Dakota Community, the Prairie Island Community, the Shakopee Bide Wankwantwan Sioux Community, the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe. Terry Yellowhammer, who helped me edit this script, has for this courtroom flags from the Fond du Lac Band of Lake Superior, Chippewa, and the Bois Forte Band of Chippewa, but COVID has prevented us from scheduling a ceremony. There is still a struggle with the highly problematic imagery of the Minnesota state flag and seal, which, by law, must be displayed in the courtroom. In the center of the courtroom, we have medicines. The cedar is a gift from the ICWA Law Center, the sweetgrass and the sage, and the feather I keep in stock as needed. But the current bundle of sage is a gift from an elder at Standing Rock. The medicines sit on a Pendleton blanket the district bought, and another blanket hangs on the wall. We now have a process to allow smudging as needed. Here, just inside the door, is a native carved piece of pipestone from southwest Minnesota. This was a gift, and, I hope, the presence of pipestone brings with it some of the sacred and peace-seeking qualities of that place. Next to the pipestone are 2 maps created by Marlena Miles, a St. Paul-based Dakota artist. Her work shows the Twin Cities and the Bluff Country, but with the original Dakota place names. Teresa Day, a social worker with the Red Lake Nation, told me to buy these, so I did. Along this wall, we see 2 handmade shields from a Sichongu rosebud artist, Evans Flamond Sr. The district bought these. In between hangs a locally made dream catcher, a gift from Justice Ann McKeag. This is Helen Redfeather, an awesomely strong woman standing up for Native sovereignty. On the back and side wall are a series of posters I bought, about half made by Native women artists, and most inspired by the water protectors at the siege of Standing Rock. Hennepin County's former sheriff sent deputies to oppose the water protectors at Standing Rock. I have to send messages that my courtroom does not participate in that mindset. I bought these two maps from Aaron Carapella, a self-taught native draftsman who placed hundreds of First Nations on his maps to show their true and original locations. This one is the national view, and this one covers most of the families who come into my courtroom. I am honored to be among all of these symbols of a commitment to doing better. Some I bought, some the district bought, and many of which were gifts. If I had to pick a personal favorite, it is this star quilt. The quilt was made by elders at Standing Rock, where Judge Hoyos, Laura Newton, Shannon Smith, Terry Yellowhammer, and I went to visit the tribe for no purpose other than introducing ourselves in person to the tribal leaders and as an act of goodwill for the roles we each play in the courtroom in ICWA matters. We brought small gifts of birch baskets, honey, and wild rice. We were very moved that the council presented two quilts, one to me and one to Judge Hoyos. The things I have shown here are symbolic. They will have little meaning if they aren't backed up by the outward signs of concerted, ongoing, active efforts to preserve and protect Indian families and to see and recognize Native sovereignty, to uphold and uplift the dignity of the people who come to this courtroom.